I knew it was me.
What you didn't know is that we're at the end of this hour.
That's it. I just needed to sit here anyway. Well, I didn't need it to. Abraham, I love you. I love what you teach. I love that this is happening right here, right now.
Yeah.
It's so...
You've been trending in this direction for a while. So in the brief time that is left in this segment,
yeah,
what is the leading edge conversation that we're going to have together?
We're going to talk about worthiness. We're going to talk about not pushing against ourselves anymore. Do not push against yourself.
Well, the important things to know about those two things are that you can't not be worthy.
Yes.
But if you don't know you are, then you're pushing against yourself.
Yes.
And so then you're not letting the things that you're asking for in, and then you don't feel worthy, and you think that there's some other game going on. And so as you know both of those things, you know everything that you need to know, don't you?
Yeah.
And so how does someone, we like how you put those two things together.
I know.
How does someone not push against themselves? What's some practical ways that a person would not push against themselves?
Well, the way that I found for myself...
See, Esther picked a fight with Jerry.
Yeah.
She never did when he was in his physical body because he wouldn't fight back. It was no fun. So she's saying, why? Why would you do this? And he didn't feel guilty. He didn't explain. So if you're not picking a fight with somebody else, then make a decision that you're not going to pick a fight with yourself. So what would be some examples of when you're picking a fight with yourself? It's taking too long, or I didn't get it right, or that person doesn't like me, or. It isn't hard, is it?
No. And the amazing part, and this is something that I've been really noticing, is that as I stopped pushing against myself, and I've been looking for my inner being's perspective. What my inner being thinks about this moment right now, what I'm doing right now. What would my inner being perceive from this moment? What beauty am I not seeing?
This is a really good question, and this is part of the way that you become your authentic self, because here you are acknowledging that you have an attitude or an opinion or perspective about it, and you can feel it's off. That's why you're having this conversation with yourself. So now you are introducing into your conversation with yourself, wonder what my inner being is thinking about this. Even a better question is, I wonder how my inner being is feeling about this. Wonder how my inner being is feeling about this. And as you do that, it won't be long before you'll find yourself feeling the way your inner being feels about that. And at a minimum, you will know that your inner being feels differently than you do because you're still asking the question and still not accomplishing the improved emotion. We have something really important we want to say to you, and that is, take it easy. There's no race, and there's no goalpost. There's just feeling a little better and feeling a little better and feeling a little better and feeling a little better until you feel great and you feel great and you feel great and you feel great.
And that's what's happening. There's been explosion after explosion of just
You are a really
loving.
good example of someone who is calibrated to a lot of people around you for a long time.
Yes.
And that's
I
a
did
hard
that.
habit to break. It's like many of you speak more than one language, yes? And yet you have your language that is really your path of least resistance. It's the one that comes easiest, yes?
Yeah.
And you know what it's like when you're trying to translate, you're trying to make sense of something. In other words, you're trying to find a way to say it in that way that's the most comfortable. That's what this feels like. When you want to know how your inner being feels about something, you have to acknowledge that you've been practicing a different vibrational language for a while. And so there's no reason to be frustrated that it's not coming immediately to you. It will come. It will come.
I know.
We think this is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.